Hello. Oh, it's so exciting to have you here. I am Suzanne Castle. This is your 4-day CEO Mind Shift experience. Gosh, so glad that you're here. Let's inhale together, like my sweatshirt says. My sweatshirt actually says inhale champagne, exhale negativity. That works too. Welcome to this 4-day series, the CEO Mind Shift, the 4 keys to having a kick-ass biz and fulfilling life without sacrificing yourself along the way. Over the next 4 days, we're going to explore why it's difficult for us to claim the title of CEO and how to overcome those fears. The process, it's not complicated, and guess what? It's not even difficult. It's simply a way to explore our feelings about calling ourselves the CEO of our lives and our companies, and how to break through any roadblocks so we can reach our success milestones more quickly. There are 4 keys to this framework, and we're going to tackle one each and every day. And I'm going to be sharing a roadmap every day for you to take action daily on the one step. So if you haven't given me your email, please pop it in the chat right now so I can be sure to give you the roadmap exercises, a video recap every day. And guess what? Special bonuses that are coming on a Friday. Those of you that are here with me all the time know I love to give bonuses. So for those of you that show up, stand by because I'm going to let you in on some secrets. Hello. So glad that Jen is here. Thank you. All right, let's dive right in. This is live on various platforms. Some of you are watching it on replay. Great. So if you have a question, you have a comment, please use the feature where you are watching. I will be pausing, monitoring them along the way. I can see them on the side of my screen. So again, if you're catching this via replay, you can also still comment in the platform that you're watching in. I'm going to be checking the feeds on the regular all the time, answering your burning questions over the next 4 days. Each of these days will run about 30 minutes, and we don't want to waste a moment of our time together. So glad that you're here, Judy. Hello. Atina, welcome. Glad that you're here too. Fantastic. So let's see who we have in the house. Who are you? Let us know in the chat, meaning what's your name? Where are you tuning in from? Let us know. I'm Suzanne Castle. And after leaving what I thought was my dream occupation, not once, but twice, I began to do some research on what visionaries have in common. I was tired of being sick and tired, being burned out, having great vision and great goals, but really no actionable plan to get there. And frankly, I felt a lack of resources was keeping me stuck. Maybe you resonate there too. So let me know who you are. And hey, if this sounds familiar to you in any way, you feeling stuck, you feeling sick and tired, you feeling burned out, just type me in the chat. This is giving you practice for all the questions that are coming at you. The thing is, when we're stuck in the day-to-day minutia of running our lives, our businesses, nonprofit, for-profit, starting a dream, solopreneur, everythingpreneur, you feeling me here? That might mean you have a gnarly email box. You continually feel on the hamster wheel with tech snafus, with returning phone calls that fill you with dread. If that's you, type me. Or maybe you're feeling a little overwhelmed by everything on your plate. So this could be client work to marketing. I mean, who knew a 30-second reel video could take so long to make, right? To the sharing of what you're trying to do in the world. And so you just don't do it because it's just too hard. Let's just go back to bed already. Is that you? Type in me. Maybe you aren't outsourcing things, meaning you're not handing off tasks that allow you to stay in your zone of genius because you know it. You know it. So it's too hard to find help, right? To find volunteers or, not to mention having the time to actually train them. So you just keep doing it yourself. If that's you, type me in the chat. Or you know what? Maybe, just maybe, you are just trying to get through your day every day without a meltdown. Rather than focusing on projects that will move your business and your life dreams forward, you're just like, I just got to do this. I just got to do this. I just got to do this. Is that you? Type me in the chat. Or possibly, you could be taking everything personally. When you view your role in your life and your biz as your whole source of identity, and therefore you take everything personally, that could be from social media engagement to how many people show up when you're doing something, to how many sales or how much money you raise, and on and on and on and on. Is that you? Oh, type me in the chat. Or maybe this feels familiar. Maybe you're just implementing old ideas versus new ideas, which, you know what? Let's be honest. Your favorite thing to possibly do is vision and dream new things into being, right? But right now, the old ideas are easier. And you know what? You're so tired all the time. Is that you? Type me in the chat. Or, maybe you're just allowing any and everything to affect how you're showing up in your business and in your life. Maybe you're doubting your decisions. Maybe you're in that space of wonder whether or not you're worth it. And you find yourself negatively comparing yourself to every other shiny leader out there with a filtered selfie and a post about their latest six-figure job, which seems to be almost every single one of them, right? And their fabulous vacation cruise to boot. Is that you? If so, type me. I'm seeing some me's in the comment. I get it. So get it. And me all over. Yeah, Stephanie, me too. I've got some not so great news. If you typed me one or more times, you might be running your life and your business, but you're not operating like a CEO at all. And so it's no wonder that maybe you're feeling like your life and your business are running you instead of the other way around. I was there too, from church leadership to 3 other jobs, constant content creation, writing, speaking, leading, and trying to be a single mom and to have friends. Oh, and let's have a loving relationship on top of it. Everything just felt so hard. And I knew I wasn't being strategic. That's how this work that I'm doing with you today was born. This is the culmination of several years of deep dive work with business consultants to mindset coaches to neurologists and brain scientists that have helped me create my own pathway of working towards my extraordinary dream while not keeping a pace that isn't sustainable for me. Because I want to be about joy. I want to be about mattering. I want to be about the sparkle, right? I am the sparkle factor. That's my business. And so many leaders I know are there too. They're having an identity crisis. They started their businesses or took this job, that job, every job, and began working on a retirement dream because they wanted to help people. Yet helping seems so far from where they first started because, frankly, they're exhausted at the end of the day. They're burned out. They can't even really say what they've done in the day. Their identity crisis comes from working too hard in their business like an employee instead of working on their business like a CEO. And when that slide happens, it shows up in your personal life too. And that's when the messy and the mucky show up and the crash shortly follows. You feeling me here? After COVID, so many leaders are lonely too, right? And that really weighs heavily on even the strongest of people. You're experiencing the need to be a visionary CEO while also getting things done behind the scenes. That's an employee person, and doing it all without maybe the resources and the support and the community you need. How long do you think that work pattern is going to be sustainable for you? You're still the CEO of your life. And you're the CEO of your company. And if you feel like you need an extra 18 hours in your day to get your to-do list complete, it's time to make a CEO decision about your next steps. And part of that is determining delegation. When you don't have to do it all, and please, before you start with your excuses and telling me you don't have the time or the resources, just play with me for a minute. When you don't have to do it all, and you can be either about getting 80% close or getting some volunteers, even if it's taking precious time and training, or hey, even outsourcing or hiring a team to help you manage all the pieces from bookkeeping to cleaning your house to customer service to someone shopping for you at Target so you zoom in and pick it up, or to doing follow-ups with clients or with people, or even meal planning, you're going to regain some time in your day to help you visualize how you want your company to grow while also serving all of your clients and living your own best personal self into the world. Now, I know that the idea of hiring makes some leaders' palms start to get sweaty. It's a common fear, right? But it's going to be one that holds you back because you simply can't do everything yourself. Say it with me. I can't do everything myself. So I want you to stay with me for a moment. We've been going really hard and fast in these 9 minutes, but I want you to think for just a minute, okay? Think of some of the biggest companies in the world. You have one in mind? Do their CEOs have their hands in every aspect of the business? Let me know what you think in the chat. Yes? No? Do the biggest CEOs in the world have their hands in every aspect of the business? Let's see what you're saying. The thing is honestly, they have employees and they have middle management to handle tasks. And what I'm finding is they don't always worry about the hiring factor, even when it's hard, like it is in the industry right now, or even independent contractors, because they know instinctively they can't do all the work themselves. So they have to be about visioning and out in the world. If right now you're having a difficult time wrapping your head around calling yourself the CEO, you're not alone. Many leaders follow their instincts about starting a business or even a nonprofit, let's say, and many of them don't have any formal business training or degrees. And sometimes even those people who do have experience in a corporate or an office setting, they can relate to the CEO title a bit easier than, let's say, an entrepreneur who's following their instincts. But regardless of your training, if you can't control basic aspects of your personal life and the day-to-day items of how you lead in your biz life, then I would bet that fear has a giant role to play. So over the next 4 days, we're going to be talking about the roadblocks and the fears that are holding you back from claiming your CEO title. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Nearly everyone has a fear. And that means nearly everyone has a roadblock they need to conquer. It's simply part of being human. It's part of our human existence. In these next couple of days, I'm going to go through some steps I use with my own clients, from corporate to faith groups to solopreneurs, to identify those fears. And sometimes that's the most difficult part of the process. But also, I don't want you to feel like you have to race through this process after 4 days. Okay. When it's done, you can always come back to it. It's living on my social pages. I'm not taking it down. I want you to take your time. I want you to really explore any feelings that come up during this process. Some of the fears, they might be easier to identify than others. And sometimes the root causes of those fears can bring up troublesome feelings. But the important part is that you continue this process. And that's what this work is all about. So because we're only spending 30 minutes and we've already spent 12 setting this up for why you're here, let's jump right into the first key that we have. And that first key is literally to make mindset your number one priority. You have to stop thinking like an employee, and you have to make your CEO mindset priority number one, from your personal life to your business realm. Mindset is everything when it comes to running a successful life in business. When you have the right mindset, it's often referred to as a growth mindset. If you live in the personal development space, that's the same thing, the right mindset, CEO mindset. When you have that, you dream big. You get excited about mapping out a business plan that will help make those big dreams a reality. You have a naturally positive attitude about your business because you know in your heart that you're going to be successful. And when you're successful, it helps your whole personal life, from relationships to friendships to your business world. And there are no ifs in this equation. So even though you don't maybe know exactly what the road to success might look like, you're confident that you're going to reach those big goals. Now, on the other hand, when you don't have the right mindset in place, you might become susceptible to burnout. And you might be missing out on opportunities because you don't have the team or the energy to pursue them. And when that happens, you're not always able to hit your income goals or other important metrics for your life and for your biz. And when that happens, you're never going to be able to scale or grow into the kind of business you want to have, the kind of leader you want to be, how you want to show up for your family, maybe so that you can retire or give away money or serve differently. So you see, having the wrong mindset, that fixed mindset, it really does it equates to those things like pessimism, insecurity. You don't believe that you can learn new things or are capable of growing a business, so you don't take the required action. So you just stay paralyzed. Anybody with me here? If that's you, say me. Feeling that paralyzation, feeling that insecurity, feeling that pessimism, right? It's a safe space here at Sparkle headquarters. When you're in that mindset, you often let your emotions get in the way because you're listening to that little devil on your shoulder, feeding you mistaken advice, believing that you're not capable of doing something like running a business, running your life. And that's certainly going to impact your confidence, which in turn will impact your ability to proceed with action steps. So being a successful CEO in your life and your business requires a major shift in the way that you're thinking about it all. So what exactly is a CEO mindset? Well, this is my definition of what I use when people ask me. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's the thoughts, it's the patterns, it's the beliefs, it's the behaviors that most CEOs possess. It's that confident persona that shines through and handles difficult decisions with ease, or so it seems. A CEO mindset is not being afraid to take a chance. as well as knowing when it's time to shift gears and to try something new. When you think of successful CEOs, what traits do they have in common? Seriously, what traits they have in common? Let me know in the chat what you think of. When you think of a successful CEO, what's a trait that you think they all have in common? Let's check the chat. See what we got. Yes. So trust is a big deal. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay. So they're good leaders. Yeah. Good coaches. They're visionary. Yeah. Jen, thank you. Thank you. What else do we got? What do you think of when you think of a good, strong CEO? Willingness. Yeah. Willingness to do the hard things is a really big one, right? You can't stay paralyzed. You have to be able to make decisions. That's true. That's true. Okay. As others come up for you, I'd love to know. So be sure and pop them in the chat. And along the way, take a note here and there of what you're thinking. Yeah, they're definitely good leaders, Judy, for sure. That is absolutely for sure. But be thinking, because it's important to know what traits you think CEOs have, and then be kind of checking in with yourself if you have those same kind of traits as you kind of work towards a CEO life. So most successful CEOs, they're things that you've already noted. They're strategic decision makers. They are big picture thinkers. And that big picture thinking definitely separates that CEO mindset from something that I'm calling employee mindset. Okay. So that employee mindset, you know what that is? That's just thinking in the short term. Okay. Thinking in the short term. Remember, CEO is about the thoughts, patterns, beliefs that CEOs possess. But if you're thinking in the short term, that's not a CEO. Okay. It's a CEO mindset's full of action. It's action oriented, but action without a long-term vision or even action without a strategic plan, that's just action. And it's not going to move you towards your goals. So you can be acting, but be in employee mode. I want you to think to your own past for a minute and the jobs that you've held since you left high school. If you punched a time clock, you were an employee. So those employees, right? They go in, they perform a certain task, they punch out, they go about their lives. They can usually leave work at the office until their next shift, and then they go hang out with their friends and then binge Netflix, go to bed, get up the next day. They don't have the same worries that a CEO does. They're usually just concerned about doing a good job at each shift rather than thinking about how to move ahead in the company, right? How to help the employee, the company, the visionary reach more sales, more profits. They're not really focused on the long term. What happens next? What's happening in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? And that's really short-term actions that separate the employees from the CEOs. And this really goes deeply down into how you claim your power in your personal life as well. Employees are down in the trenches and they usually can't see the forest for the trees. But a CEO, on the other hand, they know where the company's headed and they're steering the ship confidently. So she can see the big picture and make decisions that affect the organization with razor sharp clarity. So right now, tell on yourself. Are you ready? Are you being a CEO? Or are you thinking like an employee? So if you feel like you're in that CEO space, put a C. If you feel like you're in that employee space, put an E in the chat. Come on, let's tell on ourselves. And you can be stuck. Yeah, Jen, thank you. Thank you. You can stuck between two places. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard sometimes. And let's face it, we all do employee things every day. We all do. But we want to be inching ever so slightly to the C space, right? The CEO space, right? So you want to be strategic and full of clarity. So if you're not really sure, which is what I find a lot, if you're not really sure where or how to determine that CEO versus employee mindset, like Jen was just saying, there are a few simple ways to decipher which one you are right now. So let me give you some of those clues. You might actually want to grab a pen or come back to this if you're not in a space to do that and jot these down. These are going to be handy for your roadmap action plan that's coming at you right after this training. So here's some things to think about. If you're already viewing your life and your business like a CEO, then you're probably vision driven. You are able to outsource without fear. And you're able to do that without your own ego getting in the way, meaning you're the only person that can do it. You're also able to disconnect a little bit. I think that's the way that I want to say it. You can disconnect emotionally. You don't have to take things in business and life too personally, right? Just because someone quits, it's not about you. It could be about 8 other things, right? Just because someone didn't like your social media post and you thought that they should because it was right on target with them, it doesn't affect the rest of your day. So also, When you are operating that CEO space, you're really working on projects that build yourself up, that scale your business regularly, that help you get after your big dreams from business to life, right? It's not just about your business and it's not just about your life. They are synergistically working together. The CEO mindset really kind of takes regular timeouts to work on your business. You can get away from it all. You can go spend time with a coach like me, or you can go on a retreat somewhere because you know that you need that. Because when you do that, you brainstorm ideas for new projects and products, services, et cetera, et cetera. And when you're operating this space, you get to be a leader, which means you're embodying the qualities and the values that you preach about, that you live about every day. You're stepping into new territory regularly. You're expressing your truth without fear. That's what it means to live in that CEO lifestyle. However, if you're thinking like an employee, you're more likely to spend your days stuck in the day-to-day minutia. So you're running your business. You feel like you have to do all the things. Maybe sometimes you're doing admin work. You're doing tasks outside of your zone of genius. You just don't have enough time in the day. You feel overwhelmed by everything on your plate because you can't outsource. You can't hand off tasks. You're not working in that zone of genius space. And you're really and honestly just doing your best to get through each day rather than focusing your time on projects that will move the business forward. And you let the other things fall away because you have to let them go and give them away to someone else. And when you're viewing your business title as your whole source of identity, and therefore you begin to take everything personally because they didn't treat you in the way you thought you should be treated based on your title, right? And like I said earlier, you're implementing old ideas versus brainstorming new ideas because you don't have enough time to brainstorm. So you just keep doing the same thing. And maybe most importantly, you live from a place of fear. So you let your own personal stuff stop you from moving towards your goal and your dream and your vision that you once had for your business and your life. The truth is that the employee mindset is keeping you and your business stuck and stalled, and it's also holding your personal dreams hostage. And I'm guessing that you have fears and roadblocks that are holding you back from achieving your success. And the sad thing is that those most likely developed during your childhood. Those could have been from comments that people told you directly or from hearing discussions or arguments between adults in your life. And before you ditch me and think that all is lost, I do have good news for you. And that is that you can overcome these fears and roadblocks. All it is changing your mindset. Now, that does take work and it takes some deep introspection, but you can absolutely change your thinking and adopt a CEO mind shift. To truly scale your life and to be about meaning making, or let's say you have a money goal, or maybe you want to expand your empire in any way, you have to start clearing out your fears so you can feel confident doing the things that need to be done to run your company and your life the way you want to run it. Now, this isn't to say that, you're going to adopt all these things that I give you, these 4 keys, and you're going to have overnight success. You might. And it's not saying that all of your days thinking like a CEO will be rainbows and unicorns. They won't. There will be hard days when your whole staff quits or something doesn't go right. But instead, what we're doing is we're going to learn how to recognize when the fear starts creeping back in so we can halt it in its place without letting it ruin your mood for days or weeks at a time or keeping you paralyzed in your bed with the covers up over your head. So as we continue through this training, you're going to learn how to identify and clear any fears that are holding you back in the specific areas that are preventing you from being a CEO. And when we're done, you're going to have technique in your back pocket so you can use to move through any fear that comes up as you step into your role as a CEO or as you continue to grow in the CEO lifestyle. There's always new territory to explore, which means, of course, there's always new potential for fear to show up. So today, the roadmap is going to help you identify those tasks that you do. And then you're going to categorize them as a CEO task or an employee task. I'm going to help you. Don't worry. The worksheet's very clear, right? So let's say, for example, that you feel you have to respond to every email as it comes in. Well, first, you can give that task away to a filter in your email. You don't have to have an assistant do that. You can take an hour and set up the appropriate filters, or, hey, give yourself alarms so that you're not checking your email all the time. This is the kind of things we want to talk about. So first, you're going to identify the task. I check my email all the time. And then decide, okay, by doing that, am I operating like a CEO? Am I operating like an employee? Right? This also accounts for you personally, right? If you are the only person in your life and you have people in your home and you're the only one responsible for all the cleaning and all the food prepping and all the things, and you're also doing business related things or dream action oriented things or lots of volunteering, it's time to step it up, people. Okay. It's time to give some things away. And so what you're going to do is you're going to begin to spend some time identifying these tasks, putting them into categories, and then the second page is about your own mindset. You're going to explore and begin to discover what might be keeping you from strategically owning that CEO-ness. Okay. Now, I would like to say, I'm going to check the comments in just a minute. So if you've got a question so far, we're at about 25 minutes. I want to get to those today. And you can come back and post your questions at any time. I'll make sure that we get to them before the 4 days are out. I would also like to say that everyone that does attend live gets a name into the drawing that I'm doing on Friday. Now, I know our training is only through Thursday, but on Friday, for everyone that showed up live, I'm going to be giving away several goodies. This could include things like some of my content, and that you don't have to pay for it. Maybe it's going to be free. A coaching call with me so we can get some one-on-one help. Some other items coming your way. So don't forget to set this time aside for the next few days. Okay. So if you're able to be on live from 3 to 3:30 Central for the next couple of days, it will be helpful to you. And if you were here live today, thank you. Your name has already gone in the virtual hopper for the Friday drawing, and you're going to be notified what you won. So don't worry. I promise I'll let you know if you won. Woohoo. Okay. Let's check the comments. If you've got a question so far, Jen, all the above, I get it. Judy says, understand the business and how to empower direct reports, inspire the direct reports. Yes, that's such a hard place to be, is understanding your role. And when you don't do your role and you don't do it well, it affects everything from top to bottom, right? And the same thing's happening as CEO. If you don't understand what you should be doing as a CEO, it's directly affecting everyone underneath you. And that's even in your life. If you're not the CEO of your own lifestyle in your home, it's affecting everyone. It's affecting your friendships, right? Yes. Oh God, Jen, I love you so much. Oh, prezzies. Yes, I'm all about the presents. I'm all about the swag. I think it's important. We don't celebrate enough and gift ourselves enough. So I am definitely going to be doing that. Okay. Woo, you just got 4 minutes back, 3 minutes back on your day. It's 3:27. So if that's it for today, I will see you tomorrow. Remember, I talk fast. These are all on replay. You can go back and grab some notes, things like that. Your roadmap is coming to you. Remember, if you didn't give me your email and you want that roadmap, please shoot me. If you've got my cell phone, a text, you can shoot me an email. You can social media me, and I'll make sure and drop it into you in any way, shape, or form. Okay. So get your roadmap done. Bring your questions, and I will see you tomorrow. Same place, same time. I'm Suzanne Castle, and this is the way to CEO MindShift. I'll see you tomorrow.